I'm late because of Mr. Enartap. That's the reason I'm late. Anyhow, why are you, coach? Because I talk a lot with Enartap. I did see for a couple of days, and it's barely, we speak a lot in the chat and we exchange about hockey, but we don't talk too much about live. And I took a little bit longer time to talk about this. So I'll be honest with you, it's my fault. Mr. Enartap is a great listener. He's a psychology of hockey coach. So, we have a time, and it was a pleasure to hear from him for sure. Before we start, I saw him last night in the chat for the first time. He didn't respond after that. If he did, I didn't see it. But we saw yesterday, guys, a name, Roger Delaney, in the house. Sometimes some people change the name just to make something or something just happening. If it's the real Roger Delaney, my love, my blessing is here today, because to see Roger last night, I'm a very emotional guy. I'm not shy to cry. I'm not shy to have tears. I show my emotion in the mic, in front of the camera or behind the camera. Roger Delaney has been an amazing, great human being in the chat. And people like Drouin pass away, and we remember them forever. And Roger, at his age, we don't want to lose him. And the fact we saw him yesterday, it was my Stanley Cup of the year. We don't want to lose anyone here. We are a special channel because of all of you. People asking me, yeah, but the coach, I don't pay for the membership. I don't give you money, everything like that. It's not matter. You are here every night to sharing the love of the game. That's what it counts the most. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. So don't feel bad about this. I ask because I need to survive the channel, but don't feel bad because of that. Just to be here, to bring something, your own opinion, with fun conversation, be friend with someone in the chat, and welcome someone, say, hey, Billy, how are you? Long time ago, we don't talk to you. Where you been? But that kind of relationship you can create inside the chat without me. This is all about at the end. And I know I'm repeat maybe often, but this is the priceless of this channel. Whatever we are, 12,000, 13,000 now, it's not matter. We are every night maybe 40, 50, 60. But we are good friends. This is all about. We live with happiness when the Montreal win. We live with sadness when the Montreal lose. But at the end of the day, guys, you have so many good things that more important. Life is precious. I'm going to repeat again, life is precious. It's short. The session that Claude Lemieux touched my heart the last couple of days. Like where we cannot find a way to have a better life, or some people are in the dark. And don't be shy to reach someone. I'm going to repeat this a lot now, because too many people lose their life because they never have a chance, an opportunity to have a second chance, to let someone believe on themselves. I all believe, each one of you, you are unique, you are greatness, and you can accomplish whatever you are, whatever you want to do. And finally, one more thing, sir. Never give up. That's something I always said, never give up. Yes, the cloud is in front of you, the black wall is in front of you, but everything is movable. You only need a teeny hole inside a big black wall to give you hope. And that's hope make you another hope. And with many hope, small victories make you a bigger victories. So please, never give up. And for the people, lose a couple of people around your family, like Billy D this weekend, Pete Martin working hard with his brother, Mark Elliott recovery for a big surgery. Jose Duarte continues to fight for the cancer. The parents of Enartap continues to fight every single day. Enartap is exhausted. He is, since 2 years now, he's doing this with his brother, and then Luciano with his mom. And I can go with others, Scott Norman, and you have so many guys we don't know because nobody's sharing with us. have some kind of difficulties. And hopefully those hours we are together, I'm not an expert, guys. I'm not going to be the best podcaster and YouTube channel. The only thing I want to be is to be me, myself, and to be with all of you, have a good time together. Forget about things we bother us every time for 1 hour, 2 hours, and to have a good time sharing the love of the sport called hockey. So from my bottom of my heart, and for everything you did, whatever you did, the little thing or the big things, I just said to you, I'm blessed, I'm grateful, and thankful to continue to work here every single day. And it will take bigger at a bronchitis or a coffin to stop me to come here. I'm going to die, and I'm going to do live stream at the hospital if I have to, with 2 cheese, hold the camera and inside the bed, and I'm going to show up here until they let me out of this heart. Until then, the Hockey Nation should go to returning tomorrow night for the first game of the final Stanley Cup 2026. Vegas Golden Knight and the Canadian Hurricanes start at 8 o'clock p.m. A show like tonight, where we're sharing the love of the game, the hockey we have, the passion about hockey. It would not be impossible to talk about this game without him. He's been the legend. He's been called the GOAT. He's been called the #1 Santa Claus shopping mall in Toronto area for the last 12 years. And Ontario, I'm talking about Mr. Enartap, is back in the house tonight.
Good evening, Coach. Good evening, Hockey Nation. Coach, you had me in tears there. Like I think you should be the psychologist on this channel. Absolutely, 100%.
Thank you. I appreciate
Well
it. Was
said.
not my goal
Well said.
to
It
make
was
me cry.
no, it was well said. All jokes aside, it was very appropriate and to the point. And prioritizing things in life is very important. That sometimes we take the little things for granted, and it's unfortunate because they come and go very quickly, just as they come. So, let's cherish every moment we have together, and hope for the best for everybody.
Absolutely right. Before we start, we'll do a quick turn, guys. Only thing we ask you, please, maybe you can click on the like. If you become a member, that'd be amazing. It's only $2. Mr. Frank is back in the house, my friend. You so good. You sound good. I feel better, guys. It's been better. It's still not perfect, but it's a good improvement for sure. I sleep by trench for 2 hours. It's not too bad. And I have a cheese with me for the last 2 days. The cheese was very good on the massage. So 2 hours per massage. And then I got an injection of the antibiotic yesterday at the weird place in Pattaya with the old school doctor. From when I come in our tap, and when I get out, it took 9 minutes maximum to give my passport. Yeah, I never filled any paper. They told me go behind. I walked behind a doctor.
Behind the curtain.
A woman doctor. She said, "Are you allergic?"
Of course. What else?
Of course. She said, "Are you allergic?" I said, "Not at all." I said, "Lay down." Are you belly? I said, "All right." She dropped my pens down. No, I don't know what she used. I don't know what she's coming with. Everything like that. I think it was better not see anything. I don't know how many she put in the needle. Everything like that. Usually they take your blood pressure, your pulse, and everything, and nothing. And she said, "Okay, you maybe feel something a little bit." Well, that's normal. It's a needle, not big deal. Usually they clean up and then they go around and plastic glove, everything, All right, guys, yeah. I'm in the downtown Pattaya, where it's a bar around all the time. So, anyway, she said, "Hey, come." And usually I was expect she gave the needle and then it slide this little bit and then go in. Now, old school, take the needle with the full arm, boom, and my butt. Oh my God. It's like I jumped on the bed like I was not expecting that. I said, "You feel good, huh? You feel good, huh?" Oh, I said, "That's good. Yeah. I like it. Yeah, one more. Yeah, one more. Oh
You
my
sure it
God.
was antibiotics, though, Coach?
I don't know what I
Sounds like
got.
it was
It
an
may be an
injection of
antiseptic for the dogs or
testosterone.
for the horse. Who knows? But look like my voice is a bit better. I feel a bit better. It's up and down.
Yes,
Worst case, I can go
you
tomorrow
sound
again one
better.
more time. But the technique was not exactly my expectation when I've been there last day. But
It's
this patella,
it's the pataya treatment. Don't worry
it's
about it.
a patella treatment, $20 in and out. And she gave me 6 pills for sleep. And that's it. So I just want to share with you
There
about
you go.
it. Guys, before we start, what happened, Mr. User in the house. Luciano is in the house. Welcome back. Barry, well, Coach, what an improvement. I'm not heard you coughing. You must have rest. I rest for sure. So I can tell you that. I did not do anything. So I need a doctor like that to send them in. And we have send Gator Frank, welcome back, my friend. Retired guy, knock the door. Mark Elliott is in the house. Guys, by the way, we have the insider NHL. The Jim Biringer is going to join us for 30 minutes today. He's going to talk about everything about the news around the NHL, the rumors starting left and right, already about Montreal Canadiens. And we're going to use him for 30 minutes. You can ask him question. That will be your time. I'm going to go behind me. And after I'm going to talk with him more, and I will follow up that chat. So I just want to let you know, guys, Bleu Blanc Rouge is in the house. Welcome back, Billy. Welcome back also. Brent Gemlin is in the house. And Mark got conversation. User, Luciano Stendeman, Nicolas Goubi-Bono, welcome back. And after Marcel, Bleu Blanc Rouge, active in that chat tonight. I love it with Luciano. How do you think he felt, Luciano, Mr. Tap, after all these bad prediction he did all year long? Like he was the king of the prediction 2 years. Now, every time he said a prediction, it's other side.
It's the opposite. Yeah, for sure. Now we should ask him what his prediction for the finals will be, and then
Yeah,
we'll bet
of
on the
course he's
opposite.
going to go with Vegas, Mr. Tap, no doubt. No doubt he
So
would not stop
his
allowed.
buddy Mitch Marner's there. Mitch Marner's there, so of course.
Yes, he would go with of course Heat. He does not like allowed the Canada Hurricane. PLW knocked the door today. PLW hopefully doing well. Thanks to be with us, and hopefully you're doing well. Pierre, I don't know what you bought some money. A lot of sport today. Honestly, I did.
A lot of news.
I did no. I had no game today. No Blue Jays today. I follow the Roland Garros right now. The Frenchy, the tennis court. The Québécois is still on the 16 now, top 16, I believe he is now.
Yeah.
Felix. And, we are back with the basketball this week. So Tuesday, baseball, hockey. Wednesday, basketball guy will be like this for a couple of days, everything like that. So we'll see. But getting Jacques Vieux knocked the door. Remember, Ab and the others are trading on the cities. Now, all the rumors, guys, Montreal Canadiens, it's blew my mind. I don't want to get there. More I read the daily coulisses, it become more like a alu police or photo police, Mr. Tap. Those people are crazy, Mr. Tap. I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
The season review. I did yesterday, Mr. Tap. Give me about 5 minutes to do it. How do you see overall the Montreal Canadiens season? And also, give me a grade about the team overall. This is the performance Montreal Canadiens in the last 4 seasons. The increasing number of points, Mr. Tap, is unbelievable. 38 points. The goal, 52 point goal plus. Minus goal, again, guys, is about 54 less goal, Mr. Tap. Then you have the power play increasing for approximately 7%. The PKM code at 6%, but last year it's not 20%, it's 80%. So they drop at 2%. We know because the departure of Joël Armia and David Savard, Christian Dvorak. That's said, Mr. Tap, on the position of the individual players. Zuski, 100 points. Caulfield, 51 goal. Hudson, 78. Sakaski, 30, 73. Demidov, 62 points. Kapanen, 22 points. Tobias, 29 wins on the season. 2.78. And then we can go a little bit more players if you want to, but they are not there. But I can tell you an example. Performance of Mike Madison. Some people said he's upset, but look, he played a ton of minutes. We can talk about without Alex New York, without injury, what it would be look like this season. We can talk about Noah Thompson before he get hurt. He had an amazing, great year with the block shot, the first pass. That'd be another improvement plus. Demidov, 62 points. Kapanen, 22 goals. Then you can get it's fun things of the season, guys. The beginning saga, Montembeault, the 3-goalie contender, the switching contender, the disappear of Patrick Laine after 5 games, the disappear of Samuel Montembeault, the disappear of Brendan Gallagher the last 20 games, and then the big trade for Philippe Danault happening during the middle of December, I believe, or something like that. Change the rest of the season. Josh Anderson step up during the playoff. Yeah, but a lot of positivity over the negativity, in my opinion. And said that, I would like to you give us a 2-3 minute review overall of the Montreal Canadiens. You can finish with also with the playoff and the second part, and a grade from A to F. If you don't mind to do that, and chat, the people can continue to talking. You guys, you have anytime you have a question, let me know. I will stop Mr. Tap, and this is your show tonight, and until Jim show up very soon.
Yeah, no problem, Coach. And I think you summarized a lot of great things there. I think overall, you have to look at the season as a positive in many ways. You showed their projection over the last 4 years, and you saw improvement every year in terms of the number of points that they've got every year. And that's not an easy task to achieve. Most teams, especially when they're rebuilding, take a longer time to get to that stage where they can become competitive, and B, you see a little bit of regression from time to time, right? Nothing is as linear as we're seeing right now with Montreal, which is good news because overall, what it means is that we're drafting well and we're making some good additions to the roster to supplement what we have. But if one thing we learned from the playoffs this year, especially in that Carolina series, is that there's still some gaping holes that we need definitely to be addressed over the summer. And I think that that's the intent from every indication from what we've seen to what Gorton and Hughes mentioned today.
Super chat. So after that, we're going to take a break here to celebrate.
Thank you.
Super chat goal number 1, guy. NMN. And one time, meantime, we're going to say hi, Canadian 50 back in the house tonight. Welcome. Hi, Canadian. Welcome. Thanks to be with us.
Oh, my God.
Thank you. Scored a big goal, Mr. Eminem, Mr. Natap. We're going to get an assist to Billy B. Yeah, Billy D get an assist, and then we get an assist to Retired Guy. Back also with us, Mr. Retired Guy. Thanks again for the big goal, $5. Apologize, Mr. Natap, we'll cut you, but...
No problem. And so I was saying, like, when you showed those the statistics for those key points, those key players that are an essential component of our core, that's the encouraging part, Coach, because these guys, most of them are signed for the long term under very friendly contracts, which helps to continue to build on what you have started from a manager perspective. To me, the biggest surprises, I would say, are probably the rapid rebuild timeline. In this case, like this year, finishing off with 106 points and then reaching the Eastern Conference Finals, in pretty much 4 years. That's a few years ahead of schedule in my eyes, and that's great to see. You look at things, the main accomplishments that were made by that nucleus, that core, the 101 points by Suzuki, the 51 goals by Caulfield. You had Slavkovsky had an awesome year this year as well. Hudson, and you could go up and down the list. Demidov as a rookie, Dolbesh coming out of nowhere, and all of it put together really is what's going to cement the team in the future. So, what stands out in terms of what we need to address? Obviously, it's the lack of depth that needs to be addressed, and there's some contracts that need to be cleared out so that you can bring in the right pieces and put some of the players in the right spots to succeed. And this year we saw the biggest gap to me was really that 2C position. And we saw the sort of the merry-go-round with all the different players they tried at that position. Some were more successful than others, starting with Kapanen and working all the way down to Evans in the playoffs. But in the end, it's not something that is sustainable, nor something that you want to build around, because it's not they're not true 2C players, right? And welcome, Jim. We love having you aboard, Jim, and it's always great to have you here. And let's talk some hockey today.
Let's talk some hockey. Great to be here, guys. Appreciate the invite to come on today. I am down. It's been a long day. I'm down in Raleigh, Media Day, Stanley Cup Final. But before I walked out the door, I made sure to listen to Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon's press conference, because I wanted to hear what they had to say in regards to the team. And I do think that, I like the fact that they're going to keep their aggressive nature going into the off season. But I love what Kent Hughes had to say about how he's not going to trade the key assets that he has for players on expiring deals. It just doesn't make sense. If you can get somebody on a mid-range or long-term deal that fits into what they're doing, that's perfect. Like, again, Robert Thomas to me is a guy that I would be circling and seeing what St. Louis wants, because that's a guy that could have helped the Canadiens against the Carolina Hurricanes, and you could clearly see it. And another thing, and I think another gap to me that's missing, and they touched on it, was defense. But you need to get another right shot defenseman and put Lane Hudson back on his strong side.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree 100% with that. That the pairings just didn't really click in the playoffs. I know that there were some injury issues, but I think that you need a true partner to go with Hudson.
Yeah, 100% you do, because I think in the first two rounds, if I'm not mistaken, again, all the playoff games seem to go intertwined, but I do believe he started the playoffs on the left side, and he was there through at least two rounds of the playoffs. So he was a more productive player on his strong side than playing on the right side, and being exposed in that Carolina series. He didn't really have the points that he did in the other series. So I think if you can get another right shot defense, I know it's the same. Every team looks for right shot defenseman in the center. Well, we know what but this is what the Canadiens have needed since the offseason, and everybody's known it.
I hear there's one in New Jersey.
I mean, there's two in New Jersey. Which one you want?
The younger one, Nemeth.
First of all, Jim, welcome back, my friend. What a great adventure you got for the last couple of weeks around the NHL playoff. I know you travel a lot, and we tried to catch you at some point, but the lane was not working. But anyway, we are really pleased, really happy to see you. We call you the NHL Insider, and of course, you stuck with the Montreal Canadiens because you follow them also a lot, so we get a good time. We don't want to put Jimmy all the time here for a long time, but what we're going to do, we're going to split on two things. When I have a Montreal Canadiens question, I'm going to report to you, and also I want you to come after this question. I have two questions for you for fans here, and then I want to move you on the NHL rumor around the league. Maybe give us a perspective of what could happen the next couple of weeks off season. The draft is coming, the UFA is coming, team are troubling with the salary cap, or some people are difficulty to sign a player. So maybe some rumor you you have, but I will give you a list of the players, and after I'm going to ask you a question about this too. So that's going to be really the purpose of what you're going to do tonight. Some people talk about something about Montreal Canadiens, guys. Don't worry, we're going to come back to the people conversation, Montreal, the third part of the show, where we talk about the Canadian exit today, what they said, and what could be the next. And Mr. Tag, we're going to talk about the next move on the Montreal, maybe during summer. I know people talk about Gallagher, Armstrong, and Gallagher, and Rebecca, everything. So, but we have a question for you, Jim. Would you trade Doc for White Cloud? He is a right defenseman.
I mean, it all depends on the price Calgary's looking for. I think they would want something a little bit more than just Doc, though. I mean, Zach Whitecloud's a good player that they got. I believe they got part of the Rasmus Anderson trade, and he's a good player. He would fit what Montreal needs, considering they're in a kind of a win-now mode. I like Zach Whitecloud, but so does Calgary, and I think Calgary needs some veteran players on their blue line because they still have a very young blue line out there in Calgary, and it's going to take a lot more than Kirby Dach to get Zach Whitecloud out of Calgary and off Craig Conroy's roster, considering how much he likes him. But I like where you're starting, though. I like the idea because that's a player that can protect Hudson.
Yeah, that's a good point. You'll mess that up in 30 seconds. What are you doing? Yes or no?
Well, the thing with Doc is, being on RFA this year, and he has his arbitration rights. You got to look at what's happened over the course of the years that he has been here. Inconsistency really marks his play a lot. I think, for the few times that he shined, he was underwhelming and he was very injury prone, which I think that's what concerns me the most. And like I said, the inconsistent behavior kind of damages his leverage in terms of trades and, making big deals. So I agree with Jim that you're not going to get that deal one for one for Whitecloud. You're going to have to obviously add to that. And I think Montreal might also, and again, this is just my opinion, but I think they might be looking elsewhere away from Doc.
What are the chances for the people in the chat and for all of you, start with Jim, the chance to see Kirby Dach return with the Montreal Canadiens?
I'd say 50-50. Again, he's got arbitration. He's got arb rights, right? Like it goes to the arbitration. They could just sign him if they they rule in his favor. Like I could see, like to me, here's the one thing I'll say, and I know you guys get into Canadian things later. I'm really kind of disappointed in the fact that Doc Bolduc Texier line got broken up because I thought they were such an energy line for the Canadiens. I wish I would have seen more of it because I thought those three players really meshed well together.
Mr. Tap?
Well, you see...
Sorry.
You need another shot, Coach.
Yes, definitely.
It's. I think they're going to look to probably. They're going to probably offer him like one of those show me bridge deals. I believe something that will be short term, like maybe a couple years. I would say in the neighborhood of around 3 to 3.5 at the most for him. And the logic is they can then use that to either trade a more manageable contract for a team that wants to obviously take the opportunity of trading for him and revitalizing his career. I don't see Montreal going too much higher to retain him.
Yeah, I would say to you, first of all, Jacques, he cannot get $2 million per year. He is already at $4 million. His next free contract. The only way he can do, they don't give him an offer contract June 29. Right? Not easy.
It's okay.
It's up and down. Anyway, he can become UFA, and then after that, he wait. Nobody gave him a deal. He can resign with Montreal Canadiens at that price. They did it a long time ago with someone. I cannot remember who he was, but the chance of 50-50 when you do that, I think they want to keep him. They maybe trade him. A package deal, but the chance to make Montreal Canadiens, to be honest with you, more for me, is only 20%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
No,
I
it definitely
would
makes
agree.
sense.
So that's a good question for Stenson. If I forgot one other question, let me know. I want to bring you here, Jim, for you, because that's the reason I bring you down tonight. We don't do many shows until the playoff NBA and NHL is over, so I would take advantage for the next 12 days to have a good time with you tonight. Going to make
You're gonna die there, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, you're gonna die.
Devils, Earthshire, and Nemec. Any other players? What you expect? The Devils fired the general manager. Sam is a new GM now. What will happen now?
Yeah, it's a big offseason for New Jersey. Feels like every year is a big offseason for the Devils. But Nemec at RFA, right? So he's got, here's the deal. He's got no ARB rights. But coincidence, he's eligible like Philip Broberg was for an offer sheet. Now, does a team decide to go into that bag and decide to offer sheet him? And look, I've talked to some people. He never, there's a lot of crazy stuff out there about Nemec. Oh, yeah, ask for Luke Hughes money. And look, I do know he's not happy. He could be open for a change of scenery just because just the locker room issues that are there in New Jersey right now. Certain players have preferential treatment. Certain guys, they just weren't developed right. And here's the one thing I'll give Tom Fitzgerald credit for. When the team had the injuries and they called up the young players, they weren't ready to come up, and he was right. They needed to be down to AHL a little bit more. Nemec was one of them. Luke Hughes was another one. They have to decide what they're doing with Dougie Hamilton. Is Dougie Hamilton part of this future? Is he not? Is the water under the bridge? Is new management? If they're in win now mode, do they? But again, if you're going to keep baggage around, I keep the young baggage around. I'm moving off Hamilton once his signing bonus is paid because he didn't speak at year-end locker cleanouts. The team tried to get rid of him. He said no. I don't like giving up on a 22-year-old young defenseman who has a potential to be in your top four moving forward when you really can be really good. Again, it all depends on what the package is for. I know teams in the past have tried to get Nemec out of New Jersey. Nico Hischier is eligible for an extension July 1st. What's that going to look like? Is it going to come July 1st? Is it going to wait? Is it going to go into the season? I think this one's going to drag a little bit because he wants to win. And like all good players, they want to see what the team does, right? And that's the end of the day. Good teams want to see what happens. Now, as far as a deal goes, I mean, if I'm him, I'm not signing long-term. Why? The team is yet to show him they can win consistently year after year and make playoffs consistently. Look, I'm not saying he's going to pull Connor McDavid and give him 2 years, but I would not be shocked if it's like a 4 or 5 year deal to say, hey, guys, let's do something over the next little while and make it worth my while to stay here. Or, if there's something out there available and the team needs a center and they can really upgrade this team and they know he's not going to stay, it's hard to trade your captain, but if you can get value for him, there's a lot of options on the table. I don't think they want to trade him. They want to get a deal done. The sense is the deal is going to get done, but I don't think it's going to be a 7-8 year deal.
Yeah, I think Hamilton's probably the bigger target, that if they can unload him, that would make the most sense. And I agree. If you're going to get rid of somebody, you want to keep the younger player on your team because you just don't know what the ceiling will be with them. Right? When he was drafted, obviously, the projections were through the roof for him. And I still think that he might realize some of that potential. He's young and he hasn't played much, so if you don't get that opportunity to play, it's hard to harness your skills, right? So I agree. I think with Heischer, it's a bigger issue. If they can't get rid of Hamilton, it's going to create a little bit of a cap hell for New Jersey, and they might have to look at a trade where they can save some money that way and get some fair value for Heischer. One thing I heard, I think 2 days ago, I actually sent it to Coach earlier, and I want to get your opinion on it as well. Speaking from a New Jersey perspective, and I already kind of have my opinion on this, but from New Jersey's perspective, would you say yes or no to the following trade? And the trade proposal was Nico Herscher and Jacob Markstrom to Montreal in exchange for Montreal's first round pick this year, Philip Massar, Brendan Gallagher, and Jacob Dobesh.
I don't know if the New Jersey Devils would do that, to be honest, just because Gallagher's cap hit and they don't have the cap space to sign players in, right? Like,
But you're also getting rid of Markstrom, though. That's a big contract,
right?
there.
But still, but you're bringing you're moving $6 million, but you're bringing back $6 million, right? He's making 6.5, right? So
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of a wash to me. It's intriguing, but I don't know if they do it. Like, the thing is, they have to clear cap space. Like, if Hamilton doesn't move, somebody else has to move. Whether it's Heischer, whether it's Meyer, whether it's Bratt, they have to figure out a way to move money because they don't have it right now. They just don't have money, so they have to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah. It's I think it's more of a no than
I don't think,
a yes.
Yeah, it's more of a no than a yes because, again, I think Dobesh, to me, if I'm looking at it, I think Montreal might have their guys in Dobesh and Fowler for a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's the direction they want to go. But
all right, yes, something else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Maybe you talk about this sometime. I couch and coughing. Sometime I'm watching the room and everything. I turn on my mics, everything. Anyway, so sorry, maybe I miss it, and I apologize. I miss it. Maybe you have to repeat for me. If you trade Nico,
Yeah.
what is the return? Like, you don't have to say Montreal, you have to give this. But what do you think the Devils are looking for in return if ever is on the market? We don't know yet. This is a rumor, but you're close to the Devils. So,
well, if he was on the market, it starts with a first round pick, and you probably have to get a center back. Like, that's like, if the Devils were, like, say for instance, hypothetical, not hearing anything, but let's just say for hypothetical purposes, St. Louis, you want to go trade for Robert Thomas, you want to trade a top center like that, you want to bring in a center. I mean, we knew part of Quinn Hughes trade, the Canucks were asking for Nico Heischer. He said no because of his trade protection. St. Louis is going to probably want him because, it's Robert Thomas. That's probably where it's probably a first, probably a center, it's probably a young prospect. It's probably 3 assets at least for a guy like that who is a great two-way center in the game. At least that's how I view it.
Because they are not on the rebuild team and they are not like at the top team, so they're not looking for prospect or pick. You know what I mean? They want established players in return for sure.
Absolutely.
Question for you, as Thunderman.
Do you think?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to add, Coach and Jim. Do you think that a Kapanen and a first would do it?
It might, maybe a little bit more. You may have to throw one of those young defensemen though, or a winger or something. Something else might have to go, but that's where it starts. But again, is Kapanen, like, because then the Devils lose a 2C and is Kapanen a 2C, and So
Right.
it's all how they view it, right? It's all how they view it. I know they want to keep him though.
Someone said you are nuts. I don't want to let you know who it is, Mr. Natsap, but someone tell you are nuts.
I didn't make that trade proposal. I just read it.
All right. So
Yeah.
My answer was no.
Let you know it was not him. He did the trade. So we'll just let you know. You can call him. He's nuts also, but on fun way. Sunderman, I have a question for Mr. Insider NHL, Jim Biringer. What about Tom Wilson? A draft pick, a prospect.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think the Washington Capitals are going to move off Tom Wilson because Alex Ovechkin's coming back. And Alex Ovechkin's just waiting on what the Washington Capitals are going to do. Because let's be honest, if John Carlson doesn't get traded or Nick Dowd doesn't get traded, his contract is signed and sealed already for him to play again next season for the Washington Capitals. He'll come back. He's just waiting on what the Caps are going to do. Moving Tom Wilson would make Alex Ovechkin decide that I'm not coming back. Because him and Tom Wilson are tight. So as much as a first round pick and a prospect, and Tom Wilson is like a good player, I don't see Washington doing that because again, you need to make number 8 happy, and if you move out Tom Wilson, you might as well just rebuild the team at this point because then Alex Ovechkin is going to take both feet and leave through the doors.
Yeah, and Washington's going to be an interesting story this summer in terms of what direction they take. I think a lot of it will involve conversation with Ovechkin because they'll take their direction from what his decision may or may not be. But as you said, Jim, I think Ovechkin's trying to do the opposite, right? He's waiting to see what the team will do in order to make
exactly.
that decision.
That's exactly what he wants to do. That's what he's doing. He's waiting on the team. Like there's some, I don't want to say bitterness, but there's a lot of disappointment on how the trade deadline was handled in Washington.
Yeah, for sure. It was a big loss to see Carlson go, and he was so close.
And then Nick Dowd too. Nick Dowd was a big piece for that team too.
Anaheim, Craig McDavid. What do you think about this situation?
You mean Mason McTavish? Yeah, Mason McTavish. Yeah, Mason McTavish. It feels like we talked about him a lot last year before he signed that 7-year extension with Anaheim, right? He's a great second-line center. Here's the thing with me, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this too, because it feels like it's a Jeremy Swayman situation where he came into camp late, he signed his contract late, and it just threw off his entire season. I would be very hesitant to move out a guy like this because I want to see what this kid can do. Full season, full camp, new contract. And if it doesn't work next year, then you can move him. But he was so far behind the 8 ball with a new coach that it just feels like last season's a wash, and let's just start fresh for Mason McTavish. He's a good 2C. I think we've talked about him last year with Montreal. He could be fit in Montreal. He could fit in a lot of teams. To me, look, I think he's definitely out there. His name's going to be swirling. It continues to be swirling. Boston's going to check in on him. Detroit's going to check in on him. Montreal's going to. Everybody that needs a 2C is going to call about him. I'm just wondering if Pat Verbeek says, okay, you know what? He came in late. Let's just see. Let's give it a year. Give it another year. And if he just doesn't fit what we're doing here and he's not my type of player, I'll move him. I just feel like the players due for a bounce-back season.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%, Jim. I mean, I would love it if Montreal could get somebody like McTavish because, I mean, I think he is a solid 2C that you can use. He's good on the face-off circle. He's got some sandpaper to him. He's not a really big guy, but I think he's 6'1" or 6'2", and he's got a good knack of being around the net and getting goals. I think he had over 53 or 54 points just 2 years ago. And, I think that's just the bottom of his potential. I think that this guy could really be something. But what makes it plausible to me is the fact that Anaheim has done a great job of setting themselves up down the middle. And is he replaceable for them? I think he might be, especially if the communication and the relationship between himself, the agent, and the team has kind of gone south over what happened during the course of the year. He was sad a couple times. I mean, I just don't know the exact uh, limits to where the relationship lies right now. Is it if it's something that's repairable? I think they keep him. If they feel they want to move on, then they'll probably see what they can get in a nice package for him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I just think if he's in the category of he's not a Pat Verbeek guy, he's in the Trevor Zegras category of he just needs a change of scenery, then you try to get
Yeah,
assets for him because they are set down the middle, and the Ducks do need to sign players this summer and extend some guys. Leo Carlson being one of them, Cutter Gauthier being another
yeah,
one, and they also have Pavel Mitnikov available. They have some players that some teams are going to be looking at, but they also need some help on their defense too. So, are they going to be willing if they move a guy like McTavish? Are they going to be looking for a defenseman? Most likely, yes.
Sound good to
yeah.
me. Stan thought about maybe Bryce Pickford. I don't know if you want to talk about the Tom Wilson trade or the Nick Urshire, but Bryce Pickford still to be find out first what he look like in American Hockey League before we trade him, or maybe to figure out something else. Anyhow, we go to Dallas. What you heard from Jason Robinson's situation?
Yeah. So as far as all I know is from what I've talked to people since last summer and going into this, the goal is to sign Jason Robertson and make him a Dallas star. The plan was to make Jason Robertson a Dallas star for life. Now, caveat: will the team come and offer sheet him? Will a team pony up and decide, hey, this is a guy we want? Do they make Jim Nill an offer he can't refuse? I know the reports there, they say they don't want to go as high as Rantanen. He had his make or break contract. He proved them that he could do this consistently. Jason Robertson wants to be there. The Dallas Stars want to keep him. All signs right now point to an extension, barring some breakdown in negotiations. I think Jason Robertson remains with the Dallas Stars.
Yeah,
What
I would
about
agree
you
with
in that
that. I
type?
think, yeah, I agree. I think eventually they'll find a sweet spot for him, salary wise, and he stays with them. I think he's such an integral part of that team that if you let somebody like that go, either the return has to be, phenomenal that they say yes to it. But I don't see them getting rid of him.
Now, Dallas does have salary cap issues that they have to look at to make this work. That's the thing. Like
They do.
Labushkin's probably going to have to be moved out. What about Tyler Seguin? Like, there's some money issues down in Dallas right now.
And we don't
Yeah.
talk yet about Wayne Johnson.
Wyatt Johnson just got his extension. Maverick Bork is an RFA. Will team try to
RFA, yeah.
poach him? If somebody's going to try to poach him,
Yeah.
there's going to be some movement at Dallas. I just don't know if it's going to be Jason Robertson.
Welcome back, Ron and Ovidio and David. If I miss one of you guys, we apologize. We welcome all of you. Don't forget, please, to click on the likes. Talking about Robinson, let's go to Vegas Golden Knight, if you don't mind. And you can talk about Anderson and Torofiev. Anderson UFA and Torofiev is RFA. Now, I know Pedangelo is still on the out next season, but this is a team at some point that we have to make some move here. Ever they want to keep both of them, and other player could be on the market.
Yeah, so Vegas is very interesting, right? And you always hate to bring this stuff up during their like a run to a Stanley Cup final, but it has to be talked about because Pavel Dorofeyev, another RFA. This guy, I believe, is also offer sheet eligible, and some team can make him an offer, right?
Yes.
And I was looking at some. I feel like it was FP. I forget analytics, something like that. But I was looking at contracts for him, comparables, and right now it could be on a long term deal, could it be $8 million a year for what he brings? Dude, and he's kind of proved that he can consistently score 30 goals in this league, and he's an integral part of their team. They're going to have to move some money around. That's probably Petro's money that they move out to get him signed. Okay, well, that's great. But Rasmus Anderson's not taking $4 million to stay in Vegas. I would think that this contract's probably in a drawer somewhere ready to be signed. I'm very surprised it hasn't been announced yet. But they have to move some money. Like, is Aiden Hill going to be on the team next year? Is Tomas Hertl going to be on the team next year? The Vegas Golden Knights are ruthless. They're cutthroat, and they don't not care what you've done. If they win a Stanley Cup with these guys, a couple guys are going to be shipped out because you know what? Money doesn't work. We got to keep these guys. Could Rasmus Anderson hit the free agent market? Potentially. Because if he wins the Stanley Cup in Vegas, it's great. Does he want to stay there? Does Vegas want to keep him? And yeah, it increases his value on the market, but again, does he want to move again with the family? But Vegas, to me, like that cap issue, I expect Aiden Hill to be traded. Like there's no way they're keeping that $6.25 million contract on their books. That's not how Kelly McCrimmon and the Vegas Golden Knights operate.
Total 16 millions.
What?
How much?
A total of 16 millions.
Who?
Both of them.
Salary cap?
Eight.
Oh, Dorofeyev's probably going to get 8. Yeah.
He might even fetch more.
Oh, notre ami, notre docteur, Mr. François. Let's see what he got. François Lamarche, Mr. Nartap, and Jim. He is a new member, a great contributor the last 6 weeks, maybe 2 months now. François is Mr. Traveler. He is in the Tokyo. Now he's now at the Hotel South Korea. Love you guys. We love you. We miss you. And I'm glad you're not in North Korea, but to see you in the South, that's feel better. Because, it's fun between South and North. Anyhow, $5, Mr. Nartap. Oh, my God. Thank you. He did it again. François Lamarche scored the second goal of the game after M&M. We'll go again an assist to Mr. User and Mr. Franklin Mahavlich. Barry Mahavlich is in the house tonight. So thanks again for both of you to contribute at the Hockey Nation show. So let's move on. And after you, any question you want to add for Vegas? Or?
No, I was just going to add for me, I think that Dorofeyev is really the person that people will try to target try to poach him out of Vegas this summer. And so it's going to be interesting because they are in cap hell and they do have to move players in order to accommodate him. And I think he can probably even fetch more than 8.
Super chat.
Okay. We'll move on.
I think he can fetch a little bit more than 8, especially if they offer sheet him. I think that they'll go higher so that Vegas probably can't match it or won't because they'll look elsewhere if that's the case. But I mean, what a player! I would definitely try to go after him.
So I have a question for Jim and 2-term. And first of all, Alex Stock is UFA. And how much money he going to get? What are you thinking? He's signed with Buffalo. What you heard from the inside? What you heard? Secondly, if it's not, what team can order him? And to with Mr. Nartap after that, who get the more money, Dorofeyev or Alex Stock? His new deal for the upcoming. So, Jim, let's talk about with you for Alex Stock.
Yeah, with Alex Tuck, let me start with Alex Tuck here. So obviously you look at contract comparables, and the word around the street is 10.5 to 11 million for Alex Tuck for what he brings. Right, Kyle Connors got around that. We saw Adrian Kempany get around the same. Marty Nietzsche's has got his deal. That's what Alex Tuck's looking at. The Buffalo Sabres don't want to go to 10 million because they want to operate inside their own salary cap. And as we've seen with Montreal and some teams, that if you keep players under $10 million or around that, you can set yourself up for success down the road. Alex Tuck is a Buffalo Sabre. To me, he bleeds Buffalo Sabre. He's from Syracuse. He was so vital to them during the regular season in the first round. Yes, he disappeared he went MIA in round 2 against Montreal. If Buffalo doesn't offer him 10 and a half, I could see teams like Detroit, LA, Utah, Seattle, Nashville. There's going to be teams around the league, Toronto's, the teams like that are going to be looking to get Alex Tuck services because they can pay him that kind of money. That's what he's looking for. As far as, you look at it, like I said, I think Buffalo wants to make it work. Yarmo says he wants to make it work. Alex Tuck said he wants to make it work. But again, it comes down to dollar value. Again, everybody thought Nikolai Ehlers was going to get close to $10 million, and it didn't happen. I always knew if he went to Carolina, he wasn't getting that because Tom Dundon is not paying him that kind of money. But again, somebody in this UFA class, because it's so weak and he leads the way, some team will bite and give him what he's looking for. Who gets more? I think Alex Tuck gets more because I don't know how many teams are going to want to risk 3 to 4 first-round picks on offer sheeting Pavel Dorofeyev of over $9 million.
Yeah, I think Tuck will probably end up with a bigger contract of the two. But I agree. I think Buffalo's going to make every concerted effort to try to keep him there. He's happy there. He seems to have embraced his position very well. Like over the last 2 or 3 years, his production has been steady. Like the last 2 years, he's had over 65 points both years. He scored over 30 goals in those 2 years. So those kind of guys don't just necessarily grow on trees. And I know Doriev has had a good year himself, but the stats aren't quite there. The only thing that's really working well for Doriev is the fact that he's a younger player at 25 versus I think Tuck now he's either 30 or 31 if I'm not mistaken. And so, if you're going to sign them to a longer term deal, Doriev probably ages a little bit better than Tuck does.
Yeah.
But I think I just think, Jim, you kind of hinted at it. I think that there will be a team that will try to really go after him aggressively and probably end up overpaying him. And I think at that point, Buffalo might have to sort of weigh things out and say, as much as we want him, are we going to pay this guy, 10 to 11 million a year over, 7, 8 years? I just don't see unless it's a shorter contract, and he can get the extra. He might himself opt to make a little bit less and stay in Buffalo with the extra year that he can gain, rather than going for the big paycheck and leaving.
I agree with that 100%. And again, they've offered him some money underneath Thompson. Does he come in around Thompson? We're going to find out, but I think Alex Tuck feels like he should stay with the Buffalo Sabres. But again, when you're the queen of the ball and there's not too many other free agents out there, money looks good elsewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Intéressant. We're going to finish with this because you're insider. We don't want to waste too much time, and we welcome back Mr. Kirby, our friend Kirby, for the Cat and Rats. Mr. Jim, I say hi to you too. About that, the vacancy coaches. Now, some of them does not have. Some of them could fire them, and the decision is par interim. So, Jim, you're going to go through this, and then after, we're going to fill up with you after that. Where are you with the situation? What you hear? What could be there? Jim, Edmonton, Toronto, Colorado, Vegas, and Columbus. Mr. Tap, I will ask you a question after that.
Yeah, so I'm going to go backwards. So Columbus, Rick Bowness is staying on as their head coach. They made that official a few weeks ago. I think they made that official at the end of the year when they had their media availability. So Rick Bowness is back there. Vegas, again, they're going to see what happens with John Tortorella after this season. Again, Bruce Cassidy is still technically employed by the team, though he's not employed. It's a strange situation there. But if they win, I could see Torts coming back for another year. But again, it all depends on what Kelly McCrimmon sees and how he feels that he wants to do. So you look at Colorado. Look, everybody's talking about, oh, how come Colorado hasn't had their media availabilities yet? What's going on with the head coach? What's going on with the general manager? Chris McFarland's name has been tied to Nashville. Did they make a decision on the coach? Jared Bednar wasn't the problem in the playoffs. Jared Bednar isn't the problem in Colorado. Unless David Carl basically says, I want to come to Colorado, then they're going to move off of him. The best teams in the National Hockey League do not, and again, Vegas is the exception. There's always an exception to the rule because they fire coaches and it seems to work out. Why bring chaos into your team? John Cooper's still in Tampa. There was opportunities to move on from him. They didn't. They knew what was good. Rod Brendamore in Carolina. Carolina Hurricanes were finally in a Stanley Cup final. They had all this poor runs in a conference final, and they couldn't get it done, and they could have moved on from him a long time ago. I think the best course of action for the Colorado Avalanche is to keep Jared Bednar for another year, and then they go from here. Edmonton and Toronto are very interesting because Jay Woodcroft's name's been connected to Toronto. He's, somebody's like, he could go back to Edmonton. I was like, I don't know about that, but he could. I think they want Bruce Cassidy. Everybody seems to believes Bruce Cassidy is going to be in Edmonton. When Vegas decides to let him go, I think he's an Edmonton Oiler. It just feels like he's the coach of the Edmonton Oilers. Toronto, look, they have to decide that they want to go the Dan Muse route. They want to promote from within. Manny Malhotra is going to be the guy in Vancouver, it seems. They're just trying to figure out his staff and how much he's going to make. So that's a guy off their board. Did they go Peter Laviolette? Did they try to get Bruce Cassidy before Edmonton does? Do they want a coach? Do they want a coach that can grow with the team and go through this? Like, it feels like they're doing everything. This is why Toronto drives everybody insane, because they had all this in place and they decided to get rid of it. Like, you had Kyle Dubas, you had Sheldon Keefe, and you said it didn't work, so we're just getting rid of everybody. And now you're trying to find the same guys again. I like the hire of Judd Backett. I think he's going to be a really good draft guy for them. As far as their coach, it's not going to be David Carl, obviously. Do they try to poach another coach from somewhere? Like, does an assistant get moved from another team? That's what I'm curious about with them. Or are they waiting to see what Colorado does about Jared Bednar? Because if Colorado fires Jared Bednar, then they'll probably swoop in and try to bring him up there to get this thing turned around, considering what he did in Colorado.
Yeah, with Jim, I agree. I think with Bednar, even though Colorado obviously had a couple of major injuries, Makar being the major one, McKinnon also playing injured in the last couple of games. You could tell it wasn't the same team, and it wasn't so much that Vegas really outplayed them because the games were pretty much close, except for maybe the last one. It just seemed like
Yeah.
Colorado was out of touch and really not playing their game at all. And so what's causing that? I think that there is some kind of friction that's going on behind the scenes that sort of set the whole apple cart off its railings there, and I think that there will be a change made there because, as we all know, coaches are hired to be fired, and I think the big move was to see Cassidy probably going to Edmonton, but we saw the saga that's developed around that, and Vegas is not going to budge on that until
No.
at the very least until the season's over and we know where they sit. Right now, they have the rights because they're paying the guy, and they don't want to give the rights to Edmonton to talk to him, and I think that's their prerogative, right? Toronto, I have no idea. I don't know what direction they're going to go. There are so many question marks in Toronto that if they don't get this right, and I think they started on the wrong foot with the way they hired their GM. I don't think that necessarily was the best route to go, but he could prove us wrong over time.
Well, he
And
got
then
one
what a coach.
hire right.
Yeah,
I said he
one.
got one. He's got the one hire right with Judd Beckett because
Yeah,
he's a great,
yeah,
excellent
yeah.
draft guy, which the Toronto Maple Leafs desperately need to do because their cupboard is bare.
Totally, totally, and yeah, they have to really build stock there. I think that's something. This is not something that they can do on the run. I think it's going to take time with Toronto to get where they need to get, and they have to put the right person in charge here in terms of a coach. Um, you know, Woodcroft I would be a good choice for Toronto, but I just don't see them going that direction, to be honest.
Yeah.
What about Columbus and Vegas? What do you heard, Jim?
Well, Columbus Rick Bowness is still the head coach, so
Yeah,
until they
yeah, he's
decide,
staying.
so he's staying. Vegas, if it so hard to get a read because if they win, they're probably going to keep Tortorella. I don't know what they do when they lose. I think everything's on the table right now.
Is this a first that if Vegas wins the cup, Torts wins as an interim coach? Is this a
No, he
first in the
technically
NHL?
doesn't even have the interim tag. He's getting paid. It's just for the rest of this season. So when the season
Wow.
ends, his contract's up.
Right. Well, I think that I don't know. I see
I think they're
Torts.
gonna keep him. I think they're gonna keep him.
I think so. Yeah, he's got his faults, granted, but I think when he has this kind of a team where he's working with the kind of players that are real big assets, he manages them very well, and I think that it would benefit them to keep him for even a short period of time, a couple years at the most, and just see where they can go from that.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Who are, Jim, the next three coaches you expect to get hired?
The next three coaches I get expected to be hired.
Yeah, or they are maybe more like, the one get more chance to get a job right now.
Well,
of course, Bruce Cassidy, if he's get open, he will get one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bruce Cassidy for sure is getting one. I think. Who else is out there? I'm trying to think.
Do you think Chris Knockblock can return?
I think Chris Knoblauch can get a job, but I don't know if he wants to coach right away. I'm not sure if he wants to take time off, get some pay, take a year off, and then come back and do it. I'm trying to think who else is available.
I mean, we talked about Woodcroft. There's also
I think
Berube.
Woodcroft can get Berube could get a job. I think Berube will land someplace. I think Berube
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
lands someplace for sure. He might land in LA. Who knows?
yeah.
That could be a
That's
landing
possible.
spot for him. Or yeah, because Seattle hasn't moved on from their coach yet.
If Betnal gets
But
fired in our tap, who's the best
Yeah.
potential to be there?
That's a good question.
the guy that's coaching in Denver right now.
That's what I was.
That's the guy.
No, Jim. You
It
just
was-
read my question. I was going to
Yeah.
say, Jim, do you think David Carl can be that coach?
Well,
Yes, I
yeah,
do.
he does. Yeah, yeah. Definitely, I think that would be one possibility. I think that he's well sought after. He would fit that team very well and complement their play in terms of you know guiding them in the right direction. And really, there isn't a lot to change in Colorado. I think they just need a little bit of a slightly different approach, and I think that's what, and a healthy team, obviously, and they're still cream of the crop in my eyes.
Two things before we close here. Jim, Randy believed the Marlins coach could be in Toronto, and Mark said, Mark Gillette thinking about, do you think Dominic Trump can have another chance in the NHL or Bob Arkley?
No, I don't think so. I don't think those guys are getting coaching jobs anywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. It makes sense. It makes sense for sure. Jim, we have about 30 more minutes. I don't know if you want to stay around or if you want to go. It's up to you. We just finished.
I am a little busy. I have a couple things I gotta finish tonight.
No problem.
Just have prepared for the game. But yeah, no, I mean it was a good day, media day. It's good to hop on, talk some NHL rumors with you guys.
One question before you go. One question before you
Yes.
go. You have to give us your prediction, Vegas and Carolina.
I got Vegas winning the Stanley Cup.
And Connie Smythe?
Mitch Marner.
Just for the Toronto fans.
Just for the Toronto fans. Just for fun. I will say this just real quick. It was interesting listening to the Montreal Canadiens today and like how Brendan Gallagher and the situation and the saga unfolded with him. I thought he should have played a little bit more in the playoffs. He knows he's out. He knows he's leaving. Very emotional for a guy that's given his heart and soul to that team. I would not be shocked if he. Yeah, I mean, look, he answered the Vancouver thing out loud. It's probably going to happen. Does Vancouver want him? He would be good for that team. I think Sam Montembeault might be on his way out too. I think they could probably trade him, package him for something. We know Patrick Laine is a UFA. That writing was on the wall a long time ago that he wasn't coming back. Now they try to build the team moving forward and add to the pieces because they know it's not a complete team.
You're absolutely right about that. So we'll see what happens there, my friend. We thank you so much. You need me for a recording video during the night for X couple of days. Let me know. And that's the best time, 8 o'clock a.m. p.m. for me, so 9 a.m. for you. Let me know when
you gotta lose the cough first, bud. You gotta make sure you don't die first on me.
No, he's getting better. It was worse before that. I have those kind of moments for 2-3 minutes. It's just blew my. But overall, I'm pretty good. So thanks so much, Jim. Appreciate that for your stop by for NHL Insider. This is the guy, man. Bring everything around the league. We can wish you next time after the series. We'll definitely go back to you. Our next target with you will be the NHL draft, if you don't mind. Jim, talking what's going happening for the NHL draft. Until then, we wish you great follow the NHL, and of course, enjoy the rest of your night. And you can find him, guys, everywhere. Just looking for Jim Biringer. He's all over the map on social media.
I am.
Thanks,
guys. Follow me.
All the best.
I appreciate you guys coming on. Enter Tap, Coach. Thanks for having me. Have a great night, guys.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
And after that, it was Jim Biringer with us. Always fun to work with Jim. Always a good insight.
Amazing guy.
And, he knows the game. He knows the things. And always fun to have him aboard when he have a chance to stop by. But we're not done yet. Go to consist for about 30 more minutes. If you don't mind, we just talked early before Jim, the season preview. If people in the chat, I know some of you ask a question, maybe skip them. We apologize. For the next 30 minutes, we're about focus on Montreal Canadiens. And the first thing we want to talk about, of course, today, it was the exit day. At the end of the year, at the postseason, they have an exit day where the media have a chance to talk with the management and different players. It was only 9 players show up today. They talk with the media, and then you have a 40-minute between Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon happening, honestly, today at the press conference. And I want to just share with you a couple of things you want to, with other people in the chat. And maybe you have any question you want to hear. A ton of rumor already out. And then we're going to talk about after that what's next. And the next is about who is returning, who not is returning, what can you should focusing on. And then we'll be out for about 10 days following the finals, NFL, NHL, and NBA. Then we will be back with Montreal Canadiens. The NHL draft is coming. Follow my video. And we're going to consider to carry on every day, guys. If my health give me a chance to do it. So, of course, to do it. So, any question in the chat, let me know on that one. Randy said before you start, Coach, I said, media said, leave Coach American would be interviewed or something like that. Oui, François, Marc, bring back Pesada. And the bench is too cold. On this one, Marc, François, and Jacques Vieux, and Marcel, hey, what's would Albert do? So, Mr. Tap, the 40 minutes of the Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon today, maybe the big lines, what your resume, I know you did not pitching everything, I can help you after that, but what do you all, when, pay a little bit more your attention overall by the both of the management of the Montreal Canadiens during the exit today?
I personally, I like the honesty that especially Gordon laid out. He was asked some key questions in terms of what he thought about the year and sort of where they finished off. And I mean, he was honest. He said that really we were outplayed and by Carolina. They really suffocated Montreal's transition game. We saw that they set that record of 20 shots or less in 3 consecutive games. I mean, it was a clinic that they put on, and I mean, you can have a dozen different reasons why you might say Montreal wasn't able to match up to them. Not the least of which is injuries, but you know what? That's part of the game, and you got to beat the team that's put in front of you. And it's good to see that from a management perspective, because it really helps you to address the areas of need. And for me, the areas of need right now, we need to address that 2C position. I think we have to have 1 or 2 bigger, with more sandpaper forwards up there. And we need another right-handed defenseman to, as we were saying earlier with Jim, to complement Hudson and put him on the left side so that they complement each other a little bit better. And I think that that's something that they're going to address over the summer. They're not going to let the opportunity go by them, but they will not sacrifice the key nucleus of the team. So they have other pieces.
Senator, we'll take a time to celebrate the $5 of François Lamarche, Mr. Tap. Another one, the second of the night, Coach, is all. I'll be back in a few days. Love and respect for all of you. Mr. François, we wish you safe travel with Miss Ganguru and you. Whatever you do, do it with joy, happiness, and have fun. We want to be sure you come back when you are ready to go. And talking about the Montreal Canadiens sport. Until then, Mr. François. And we have also Eminem scored the second goal tonight. So we have the fourth goal of the night, Mr. Tap. Let's celebrate for both of them, Eminem and François Lamarche.
Oh my God!
Thank you. François Lamarche going to go to get an assist. Mr. He is back in the house. RDP, Mr. Nartap, got an assist on that one. RDP.
Welcome.
And go to get an assist also to Randy Walkman. Got an assist. Our friend Randy is always with us. On the goal of M&M, we're going to get an assist to Billy D. Got an assist on that one. Thanks so much, Billy D. And then we're going to get an assist to Jacques Vio. Get an assist on that goal. Thanks so much on this one. And Mr. Nartap, it is what it is. Luc Chano announced today Vegas and 5. Take a note. Put this on your note. Mr. Luc Chano pronounced and 5. So he's go with Vegas. He's been wrong all year long. He did not target one good one, Mr. Nartap. He did not get anything. So I'm going to go with Carolina, Mr. Nartap, and 6 for Carolina on that one. But
that's your choice?
That's the reason I changed. Now, I was going to carry up Mr. Nartap because I think they are underrated. And I think we don't give enough credit for Anderson. Whatever you look, not easy. It'll be hard to beat Carter Hart. But I feel like it'll be a good series. I'll be shocked this go in 5, 4 and 5. There'll be 6, 7. And we'll see.
Yeah,
Vegas and 6 for me. Send the man on the road. That could happen about that. So anyhow, Gordon and Hughes. Look, Mark said they play violon. I don't think so. They would play more at this. Honestly, they have to be careful what they have to say. They got a lot of questions about if they meet age players, what they said. They talk about the great behavior example of the teammates, Gallagher, Liney, and Montembeault example. To talk about the preparation, talking about new contract on different players, but again, they cannot expose what they for the upcoming. But they will say they know what they are missing. They not hide about that. It was a valuable season for them. It's a successful season, and they know the rebuild is a bit faster. What they are going to be, but at the same time, they know they have to be careful and they have to be stick with the plan and to take the best for the Montreal Canadiens. So they have to be patient and not to pushing faster, quicker, just because they have to do it. That's my own opinion. I could be wrong, but this was my feeling about that. They are transparency. I did not hear. He was supposed to have a list of the injury after the end of the day, but it was not the case. I did not hear anything. I don't know if he heard something about the injuries. Only by Blood he was joined talking. But I did not see the full list.
The only 2 that I've heard were for sure Suzuki with a hamstring issue and also Dobson, very delicate. Like the fact that he even came back into the series in that game 7 against Buffalo is a huge testament to him. I know many people did not like his play, but you got to realize that he's coming back and he's playing injured. Like he could hardly close his hand around the stick. So that takes a lot out of his game. When you can't do that, you can't shoot. It's hard to make good, accurate passes. And we have to understand that. I think he took a lot of bad heat over his play, and I understand that, but I think there's extenuating circumstances, and we're going to find that out about some other players as well. I think that entire first line, coach, some kind of injury for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you for sure. 9 players spoke during the media today. It's fun players like Sobol, Jakai, and most of the thing for me we want to hear is about, I want to hear from you, is Gallagher. And some of you put at the beginning of the show, guys, talking about Gallagher. Some are mixed reaction, the way they treat him, the way they do it, everything like that. So I want to hear from you. What we can understand Gallagher is born with a jersey. He gave everything. He's been a warrior. He's been an amazing, great player. Some fans are upset he did not play the last game, whatever it is. And he said one more year contract at $6.5 million. I don't know, is a full close or maybe you have a list. I don't know exactly. I did not look. I should, but I did not look. So I have to be honest with you. If you heard with BC. But we have another article, another subject after that. What's next? I'm going to start with Gallagher here. For all the things saw this year, the end of the year, and now in the off summer, he said 1 year, 0.65. That's fun option you can do with him. Trade him. Don't hold anything. Trade him, remaining money. Trade, buy him out. Let play around the team and play and tell honest with him. And or another year like Patrick Laine on the sideway. But what is your feeling about this? The full story behind that.
Well, I mean, obviously he stole the show today. I mean, he talks right from the heart, Gallagher. You could see the emotions. He loves being a Montreal Canadien. He talked about his mother and at the time of her loss, how the team really rallied behind him and was there for him. And I think he's been there for many other players. That's not ever at question. However, as management, you have to make tough decisions at times. And this is not something, I don't think this is something that they've talked about just in the last 2 days. It's something that's been oncoming for a while. We know that he's carrying a $6.5 million cap hit. He's dwindling in bottom six deployment for Montreal right now. His speed is not anywhere near what it used to be. I mean, he's still got the heart. He still goes in the hard places, tough places, which other players refuse to do that have bigger size, and that's to be commended. But the key is, in order, he might be a candidate for a buyout. That I'm not so certain, but more likely, probably he'll be involved in some type of trade. It's hard to see him go. I would have liked to seen the route where somehow an arrangement was made, and his last year he sort of would call it a retirement and still find a position within the organization, and it might still come to fruition down the line, Coach. But you can't say enough good things about Gallagher. It's just that, unfortunately, from the aspects of age, size, speed, the game is going by him very quickly, and he doesn't really fit into where I think the direction that both Hughes and Gordon want to go.
Yeah, good point about this for sure. It's you don't want to be sad, right, about Gallagher. You want him to be happy, and he's been so good for the Montreal Canadiens. I'm not here to judge what Martin said we did. We did not bring him, whatever it is, because honestly, we don't know too much the story behind that. There are reasons why you didn't let him play. Now, it's what's next for him. He see the end of his career. You know that. He's not, he's honest. I think he will have to play his full year with the Montreal Canadiens, returning for one more year before he get retired. I think he will have to do that for his personal him. But I think he has the reality by the organization. They tell him exactly what they're looking for, what they want to do. But the good things behind that, everybody, is this part. Ken Hughes will not let a player down for the benefit of Montreal Canadiens. He's going to take care about Brendan Gallagher missing out that. He will sit with him. He will explain the situation. He will put every option on the table, and he will taking with him if a team like Vancouver want him. He will explain to him. He will tell him if he want to go or not. This is maybe a part of his great behavior Ken Hughes does for the Montreal Canadiens. He did it with many players. think about this. He did it with Mike Hoffman. You maybe not believe it, but he did it with Mike Hoffman. He did it with Jeff Petrie. He sat twice with Jeff Petrie, and he explained to him, and he would do his best to send him where he want to be. He want to go. He never played with the Montreal Canadiens, but Casey DeSmith, Mr. Tap, he got a conversation on the telephone with him to explain to him the situation and where he would like to go. And we have 3 option example. Casey Smith accept the deal to go to Vancouver. So this is where I believe it will be sad. He got traded, will be sad for the Montreal, the fans, everything like that. But I don't think so. Brendan Gallagher is on the bad situation where they just let him down and they who care. I think he's going to find a way, and for his benefit, Mr. Tap, every time you have a bad news or something you don't want to happen to you, but it's happened, he's going to get out of this with a better vision, a better way, whatever happened with him. Again, like I said, it's the player been everything, but do we really need carry on a $6.5 million for the quality hockey he's doing? He did a 2 great year last year, but this year is really where he started to be a 10 player minute. And I don't think so. We need a player like him on the 4 line. I think Montreal we need to find a bigger role for the 4 line to find what they're looking for. And I don't think Gallagher is a part of that equation. Gallagher on the 3rd line does not help the Montreal Canadiens, to be honest with you. It's sad. I've always been a big fan of Brendan Gallagher because he's a warrior, gave everything anxious. But this is the business behind everything. That's the end of the career of different player. We can go missing that with many players been that way. Tyler Johnson, example, came on my head right now with great year with Tampa. They got 3. Stefan Stamkos with the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's not the same kind of player I'm talking about. It's just talking about the end of the player with his own team for many years. So I don't know what you feel about this overall.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up some very good points. I think it's important that you don't let sometimes emotions guide the direction you're going to take. If you recall, at the time when he was signed to a long-term deal, it was done with a lot of emotion. Because of what he offered the team, what he gave the team, right? And that contract was, you knew it wasn't going to age well. As much as he bleeds Montreal and he gives his all, you saw the effects of Mother Nature over time and let's face it, today's game is one of speed and youth, and neither one of those 2 things are really working in his corner. Like you said, I think the management really has had numerous conversations with him. That's why he was able to bring it up at the conference today. It's not something he just threw out there. My only small or maybe large qualm about it all is I thought you knew after Game 5 Montreal was totally spent. You had nothing to lose to bring Gallagher in that last game, knowing that the conversations had been had and that the season was coming to where it did, and just give him that last game to play. You can make the argument that they're playing to win, and of course they are, but he's not any less of a liability than Doc was at that point, or a Veleno. So I thought it would have been a nice gesture if Marty had brought him in to play, even if it was for 8 to 10 minutes. I think at least you would have given him the proper sayonara and respect that he deserves.
Yeah, good point. I had a great comments left and right. Yeah, like I said, we talk about percentage. What are the percentage Gallagher return with Montreal?
Very low right now. I think maybe down the road, if they might very well consider signing him to a 1-day contract when everything is over, said and done with, just to finish off his career and retire as a Montreal Canadian. I think that they'll probably offer him a position somewhere in the organization. I truly believe that. And I think it would be a great thing because he's got a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge that he can, and a lot of emotion that he can bring to the game, and that's a big part of the mindset that encompasses a team or should encompass a team. So I think he will end up in Montreal, even if it's just for a 1 day contract, and then be with the organization in some capacity.
Yeah. Good point for people talk about Gallagher. I will just say something maybe. Maybe the Montreal Canadiens organization, the staff and the people decide who play, who not play. Believe the fact to bring Arbor or Gallagher will not change the end of the day where they are. That's one thing I can explain to me. And I say I agree with disagree, Mr. Tap, but I think they
So
said, you
why
know
not
what?
play him?
What?
So then why not play him?
Because they
Like
believe
if
it is not going to change anything at the end. So they
exactly. So
prefer
why
to
not
play
play
what
him?
they have, and the players still together, and they still where we at. I think, I think the chance have to
Yeah.
be game number 4, not game number 5.
So here's the thing. Yeah, maybe you're right about that. Here's the thing. If that was their philosophy, then they brought in Kapanen for a couple games and then they took him out. And I did not quite understand that. I understand that he made mistakes, but not any more so than some other players. And again, to bring in Gallagher for one game, even for a limited number of shifts, I just think it would have been the proper opportunity to say goodbye. Like if you think of the last time they were in the Cup Finals, obviously, and I understand we're talking about totally different players, but you knew guys like Weber and Price. This was the last kick at the bucket. They had that opportunity, obviously, and it was a proper way to see them off. And I think this would have been appropriate for Montreal as well to do.
But again, I'm not saying I agree with that or disagree. I just said I'm trying to explain how I feel it, how they believe. I think that's how they believe about that. They see to chant for this to get this is not going to helping. They want to said we want to use better speed every time that they have a purpose behind why they not chant. We don't know exactly. Just try to read between lines. Everybody in the chat, yes, I will use Gallagher or Arbor, blah blah. You're not wrong at all. I not say you're not wrong at all. After 3 losses, maybe to try to change something new possible. But I think for me, if you ask me when it would be the time to change, it was at the game number 4 Montreal. That would be there for me to make a change and to bring that kind of the new vibe and the new personality inside of that game. But but in fact, they lost 3-2 2 times. That's maybe the reason. But game 5, Mr. Tide, was too late for me. Like, desperation. Game 4, make one big change right there, and bring something you don't have, and to make something. At the end, it would be happening. We can see that this all summer, but it is what it is. Davidev contract. We heard today, even Davidev is looking to have a new contract. That's a good news. He can get a new contract after July 1st. He's looking for. What it would be the new contract, even without Mr. Tap, for the fans?
Well, I think the writing's on the wall. Like if you look at the salaries that both or contracts, the Suzuki and Hudson and Caulfield got, Slavkovsky. I mean, I think that they're setting that as the bar, and I understand that obviously the salary cap is rising, so uh, commensurately, so will the salaries be a little bit higher, but it's got to be in that neighborhood, and I think Montreal obviously wants to sign him for the maximum number of years and secure that because as the years go by and the NHL salary cap increases, that becomes one heck of a deal down the road, right? So I think they're looking long term, the full amount of the 8 years and somewhere in the neighborhood of I'd say 8 million to 9 in that neighborhood.
9.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, but
Do you agree?
7 year, 9.9.5 mark. Exactly,
Yeah.
again, number 4. Yeah, I feel it would be that kind of range. Maybe like Lane Hudson. Hudson was 8.75, something like that.
That's right.
And because Lane got 8 years, right?
Lane got 8 years. Yes.
And he cannot get 8 years, so he maybe get 9 million.
Not anymore.
The number of Mark Elliott already potentially like yours.
Yeah.
What we're looking for sure. We still have about a couple more minutes, Mr. Tap. I want to finish with this. We want to thank other people. Click on the likes. And don't forget, guys, again, number 1 tomorrow night. They're not returning.
Two
We
quick
talk
ones.
about Kirby.
Can I just ask you 2 quick ones?
Yeah.
What do you think the intentions will be with Montebo and Josh Anderson?
About contract or about trade?
Both.
Okay.
Possibly both. Yeah.
So the next section is not returning. So the timing is perfect. Good question about that. So they are on the list. So Samuel Montebo carrying a $3.1 million contract, 1 more year to go.
Yeah.
PLW said that yesterday, and I was going to share it with you. And then after that, we can talk about this. But I think Montreal Canadiens are a little bit a lack of goaltender at the same time. They're losing out Kakkonen. Shepard is a UFA also. I don't know if they want to keep him. And then after that, you have the rest and the 12-year John. And then we don't know what happening with Cotto, Miller, everybody, and the NCAA. I don't think all of them going to jump in. So Montreal going to be looking for a goaltender backup at some point, and Laval. Now, Montreal are not in the rush to trade Montembeault because is it better for the beginning of the season to start Tobesh, a Fowler, and gave only 1 game every 3 games to, we don't know the schedule, by the way, so that's another thing, but is it better to keep both the young kids and the bench, or is it better to send Fowler back again to over there and keep Montembeault until at some point he trade him, or they just keep Montembeault if Fowler make under a year of 50 games, or they expect to play Fowler 35 game and 45 game Tobesh, a ratio like that on that one. They can trade Montembeault to get maybe a goaltender on the backup to get with a Laval Rocket. So this is all the possibility they have. So what do you think will happen?
Well, the good thing is with Dobesh sort of solidifying his status as the definite partner with Fowler down the road and for the long term, I think his contract does become expendable, and it's at a reasonable amount. I think that's something that a lot of teams will be looking towards, knowing that perhaps it was a bit of an aberration, the numbers he had this year. Uh, Personally, I think his skill set lies somewhere between what we saw 2 years ago and what we saw this year. So I agree that, I mean, ideally you would like to see him possibly, if he were to produce, you would like to see 1 more year out of Fowler, maybe at the AHL level, getting the needed reps that he really needs. Goalies usually, need a good solid couple years, top ranked ones, anyways, before they come to the NHL. And even though he's shown that he can handle the NHL, you worry about, taking on somewhere in the neighborhood of, 30 to 40 games in the year. And next year we're going up, I think, to 84 games in the regular season. So I I could see them waiting this out a little bit and just seeing how the whole market develops around that. With regards to Josh Anderson, coach, so here's the thing. He's obviously a very serviceable player for Montreal, and I think he has a role with Montreal. But he's also carrying a $5.5 million average salary hit, and he'd be in high demand by many teams. And if you can sort of address bringing in players that will be the equivalent or better, obviously it's something you have to consider moving that type of contract, and especially after you had a good playoff season. So I'm kind of curious to see. I hope they don't move him, but I'm kind of curious to see what direction they take with Anderson as well.
Yes, exactly. The key for me is more about Jacob Fuller. Jacob Fuller also honestly have the cards to what happening with Montembeault. I have my opinion. If they feel Montreal can handle Fuller 35 game and then 48 or 40, now it's for 84 game, but 49 game for Tobesh, I think that would be good for that. And I think on the market of the third goaltender now you can get some goaltender. They would like to get a veteran goaltender, Laval, of course, was still a young team in Laval. And we have to wait. But I think for me, this is the way I expect is really what the wave to see about Fuller about that.
So Dobesh, is he an RFA this year or not yet?
Not this year yet. He's still at 1 more year.
No, 1 more year. Okay.
Yeah,
so they still have to sign.
But I was there early.
They still have to sign Arbor Jack Guy is another one that we haven't talked about that I see. Actually, I see an importance to having to sign him. Question is, what's the amount and is he happy with the role that he has here?
Yeah, so Fuller is signed 2 more years, RF3 next year, with UF3 for Montembeault. After the, not this year, but the following year. The only one we got right now for this year is Jekai.
Yeah.
Bodzik, Doc, Villano, UF3 Liney.
Yeah, I think Liney's gone.
Then Laval, Sami Blair, Belzil, UF3, RFA, Luc Toc, Farrell, Roy, Davidson, and Jake Chiasson, but he never played anyway. And then you have the Sherman, UFA, defenseman Larocque, he did not play, Trudeau, RFA, and both goaltender are UFA for the Laval Rockets. So this give you the full type of the Montreal Canadiens, honestly, on this one. Now, your next question was Josh Anderson, right?
Yeah, we spoke about Anderson.
So Josh Anderson will stay with Montreal. He has 1 more year. He brings something unique with the Montreal. The good thing for him is skating is one of his best tools. So I don't think so. Whenever you're going to be 33, 34, he could maybe get another 1-2 year with the Montreal Canadiens, drop his contract at $3 million, something like that. I don't see Anderson go nowhere.
Okay. So we have, I think you're saying not returning. Obviously, Line is not returning. I would put Villano and Blais probably both in that category.
I don't think so. I think Villano, they're going to offer him a 1 year deal.
You think so?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Here's the problem behind everything, guys. But for me, guys, and when I said guys, is me. Let's go back to Laval Rocket. Let's see who they have, and you can tell me right now 100% they can play in NHL next year.
They're not too many. Engstrom, maybe Reinbacher. Forward, you can make a case for Beck. You can make a case for maybe Florian, although I thought he had a bit of a step back this year in Laval from the previous year. And that's pretty much it.
That's it, right? That's it. That's all. So that's what we have. So you don't have a lot of players can step up to go over someone. It's pretty much even, right? And we're not going to do the exercise tonight, but if you look about all the contract they have, and then you have Budzik, RFA, you don't have a lot of spot after that. Like at the end, you have maybe 1 or 2 spots, and where Gallagher is still there. Veneno is going to get his offer. Jekai, some people ask about Jekai, guys. Strobel got $1.4 million last year for the Montreal Canadiens. I expect Jekai to get a 2 years at 1.7. That would be my and maybe lower, but I would go with 1.75. I don't think so. Jekai get $2 million Montreal.
I don't know. I don't know if that'll stick with him, to be honest with you. But I mean, the big question with Jack Eye for me is, regardless of what he signs for, whether it's a 1 or 2 year, and irregardless of the money, if I'm in his shoes or in his skates, I'm thinking, am I getting the opportunity to play so I can develop my skills? And if they're only bringing me in very limited situations, I think that's something he has to consider.
We have to $4 million. I can see a team offer a Jekai a 4-year deal at $4 million. Could get offer sheet about that one there. Yeah, that's maybe one player, because now you can get I agree with you about this, Mark. Really. Yes, I know you're not be. When I said they offer a contract with Villeneuve, it's not like they have to, but for what he bring, for what you use him as a 13, 14 forward, it does not bother you at $1 million.
I understand that, Coach, but I think there comes a point where you have to, like, you've come at a crossroad now with somebody like a Beck, and you have to make a decision. I don't think that this is a player that necessarily has to go down another year to the AHL. I think he's done his time there, and you have to give him the fair chance, even if it's just a 1 or 2 year contract, to try to establish himself in the NHL. And I would rather put that money towards Beck than Veleno at this point.
Yeah, but the problem, you don't want to sit back on the healthy scratch every game. Villeneuve, you can do this. So Beck would be better to return Laval for 1 more year and to be the number 1 call up or the number 1, 2 call up at playing Montreal. He did not play all the game. That's the reason for that.
Yeah.
And the time showed to me right now, I could be wrong, Beck is not a winger. He's only a center. And that's not good for him. Every time he plays winger, it was struggling for me. So
he doesn't have the size.
I want to be sure it's clear, guys. I don't say they have to need Veneno. The question was, do you think they're going to offer him a contract? I would say yes. They're going to evaluate. There are many other Villeneuve around, but Villeneuve been with the team already. That's give him an advantage about that. But again, Villeneuve is not the prototype of the player of the 4 line if you won the Stanley Cup. Does that make sense? So for
Absolutely.
me, it's not the show tonight. It's not about this. We talk about who stay, who is out. But at some point, Mr. Natak, we have to find the identity of the Montreal Canadiens during the next couple of shows. What kind of team they want to be. And we can go from the top to the bottom. But what kind of 4 line? You're going to see 2 teams this weekend tomorrow start, where the 4 line play a major key inside of their team. When we talk about Carrier, Jakonski, and Robinson, they bring 3 different elements at the game. The speed, the 200 feet game, the forechecking is excellent. You go to Vegas, guys, Smith, Kozar, play solid minute over there. Sometimes they use at the bottom seasons. So this is another 4 line. They play well. What we have right now, it
Buffalo.
Was Kirby Dak, Budzik, and Villeneuve.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It's not a solid line. And we saw that in the playoffs. Like, I thought Buffalo's 4th line was extremely well and outplayed us as well. You need a big energy type of line there. somebody that is, a line that's not going to hurt you defensively, and yet will give you a spark when needed with the odd goal here and there. But mostly they're laying the body, finishing off their check. They're going in deep and digging out pucks, just giving a hard time to the opposing team.
So the key behind that, Mr. Tap, is honestly, in my opinion, Josh Anderson, he had the prototype player to be on the 4 line.
Yes, he does. Yeah,
all right.
Perfect.
I think Jake Evans played anyway a good game. He's smart. He have a good speed. He complete Josh Anderson. So I'm not discount honestly Jake Evans on that equation. Jake Evans cannot be your second center or your third center. Have to be where he's supposed to be. And he's not small. He's not big, but he play a solid role as a 4 line. Like Nick Down, it's Nick Down for the Vegas Golden Knights. Look what he does. When the face off, involved, he make a lot of playmaking, everything like that. So I think Jake Evans with Anderson, that's the number 3 right there, guys. He is available. I'm going to give you a name, but I know you guys. I know it's maybe not the best answer right now, Mr. Tap, but it's the type of player I believe Montreal could looking for, in my opinion. I'm going to go Buffalo. And the Buffalo I'm talking about, guys, is honestly a Buck Mellerstead. Mellerstein brings speed, forecheck well. In my opinion, this is a kind of player Montreal could looking for. From the inside, a guy like Florent Jekai could be a really good player to be on the 4 line. In my opinion, he has the size. He need to improve his speed, but he has the profile of the player could be on the 4 line for the Montreal. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know when we're going to go there, but they need to find a neat entity to play with the 4 line. If they don't see it, but me, I see it. It's rare in hockey, Mr. Tap, when you go on the final 4 and you go and the 4 line on the Stanley Cup. The injuries accumulate. It's happening every year. Players are hurt. They go through the injuries.
Yeah, if you don't have the size, it really.
My point behind that, Mr. Tap, you almost need to play a 4 line from the beginning to the end. So you cannot play with 22 minutes, 24 minutes every game of the playoff. So for me, this is why I believe Canada take the lead 1-0, and the soccer, by the way, mentioned that. So this is a kind of we looking for, I believe. And again, I mentioned him, Mallenstein. I just give it an example. And I say you have to get this guy. But you know what I'm talking about? My point is to find a Nathan stay better at Joe Villano and Alexandre Tessier to get that kind of the forechecking and the physicality, the sandpaper, the grits, and to get bigger. This is what I try to find my Ethan stay on that one. So I don't know how you feel about the people in the chat, but I don't know if you want to add something else.
Well, it's definitely what Gordon highlighted today. They're looking for that dimension that was lacking, and that was apparent most in that 3rd round against Carolina. And so you got to get the size there. I'm sorry, in the playoffs, yes, special teams do play a part, but the key thing is you got to win those 5-on-5 battles. And if you don't, it's a grueling. Every series is grueling, and it takes a lot out of you, not just physically but mentally as well. It really spends you, and it's if you don't have that size that wears down the opposition, and that's what you really want, and doesn't hurt you defensively, then you're not going to go very far. And I think that they've realized that, and that they will definitely address that aspect, that lack.
You're absolutely right about that. We talk about Kirby Dak, we talk about Anderson, Gallagher. Manenbo. I think they are the biggest players with Veneno. Now, I think the next step, Mr. Etap, to figure out what you're going to do with Adam Engstrom, Aber Jekai, Chiro Strobel, and honestly, David Rebacker. They are the player for me. They have to play, and they have to play. I don't know where,
Absolutely.
but it cannot be what they're happening this year. We cannot play the musical chair again. They need to figure out the value. I'm sure they know what Jacques trouble is, but they don't know about Rebecca yet, and they don't know honestly what Engstrom they are. The four player, believe me, Mr. Tap, I'll be shocked if they are if some of them all four retain with Montreal. I think you're going to have a trade during summer on the package deal. And I said, Coach, come on. I don't say they have to trade Jekai. I don't say they have to. And I don't say I want to. But sometimes to get something in return, maybe you have to sacrifice one of them. And from my opinion, Jekai could be the one that maybe a team we're looking for. That said, I'd be shocked to get against Trouble, Jekai, and the same thing next year. And I think they have to promote one of the two, Engstrom or Rebecca with the Montreal, and remove Jekai or Strobel. If you want my choice, I keep Jekai, but I just feel it's too much to keep all four now with the Montreal Canadiens. I look like they go backwards.
No, not at all. I think that's exactly the direction they will take. I think it's a mistake if they get rid of Jack-Eye in my eyes. If anything, if you want to include Struble in a deal, that's the direction to go. If you have to sweeten out the pot, then you have somebody like Engstrom, perhaps, who I think right now is NHL ready, and I think a lot of teams can appreciate the fact that he can bring a lot to the game on both sides because he can play. Even though he's left side, he can play both sides, so that's a definite plus. Yeah, they're going to be used as trade chips in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And we'll go to finish with this one. We passed the time. I apologize, but I just want to finish with this before, because we're not going to talk each other for the next. Well, we'll talk every day, but for the next live, maybe 10 days. We finish with that wet snack. Give me the area they need to improve on the position. We don't need to get tonight I try to ignore or to don't talk about the McDavid rumor, Trocheck rumor. It's going to all summer. We're going to talk about this, Mr. Tab. The Crosby record is going to start already yesterday. I don't want to get there tonight. I just want to finish the targeting side, the target of Montreal Canadiens. We just talk about the intensity of the four line. But for you, give me your top three priority, top five. What position they should have for the upcoming season? We don't need to talk who's going to be sacrificed, everything like that. We don't need to talk about want Robert Thomas. But tell me about position-wise. What are the top three can use need to target? Last year, he focused on the right defenseman. Now, what do you think he's going to target this summer?
Yes, to target that exactly again. I think we talked about it earlier. A right-handed defenseman is needed that has some size and would complement being with Hudson. I think that's absolutely essential. And you know what? If it means that Carrier is at the end of his line, then with Montreal, then so be it. As much as Carrier brought a lot of good things to the team, we saw in the playoffs and even in the course of the year, I mean, he was targeted many, many times. And, he was the recipient of, a league leading number of hits against than more so than he delivered. I understand he brings other assets to the team, especially 2 years ago. He was a solid bring from Nashville, but At this point, you need to get bigger, you need to get stronger, and you need that on the right hand side. So defense is number one. Number two, I think you can't have another year where we're sort of dwindling away the possibility of Demidov taking off. He had a good year this year, and I think a lot of it was mostly at the beginning when Kapanen was doing very well. But we saw in the last 30 to 35 games, he slowed down quite a bit. Kapanen did, so that affected also Demidov. And I think that we have to look for a 2C that will complement Demidov. And then thirdly, I would say you need big wingers, two solid big wingers. One probably a top six, and one of them a bottom six.
Yeah. When we talk about top six, are you talking about a center or a winger?
I think both. I think you have to look that direction. I don't think
I think it would be
is...
hard to. I'll be honest with you. It would be hard to get both of them. I don't see that.
But I think a winger you can sort of fill in the gaps a little bit if you had to. I think the 2C is extremely important at this time. You have to have two lines, coach, that are going to be both threats offensively and can handle their responsibilities defensively as well. If you, that's the absolute minimum you need to experience success, not just in the season, but more so in the playoffs. And what that does, it will take a lot of pressure off of that first line so that they can maximize the kind of points that they get, because they're going to draw different type of coverage than if that's the only line you have to focus on. And we saw it in the playoffs, not just with Montreal, but with a handful of other teams where their top line was not clicking at the same rate that they were in the regular season. We saw it in Buffalo when we played them. Carolina to a lesser degree, but their first line has not been, knocking it off the board either. It's important that you have balance, and you need to. You said it earlier. You have to have four lines that you can roll fluently during the course of the game.
Some people said about that. Center number one for Mark, and Nicholas Welcome said the center number two must negotiate. Then why don't you do like about the jersey? I don't know. I think for me, they cannot get out of two things for me this summer. A top six forward, all right? Center prefer center, but it could be a winger. It's not a big deal for me, right? And then they need absolutely to find, if they don't think Rebecca is ready, a winger, a pairing players with Hudson. The Hudson number are not great, and I think you expose both of them on the wrong situation if you use Hudson and Dobson. Yeah. On the ice against the best players. That's my feeling. Rebecca is the key for me for Hudson in the future. Is it next year? I don't know. And sometimes you have to make a change, Mr. Tap. If it's not. That said, they're going to carry on one more year. Alex Carrier, Mr. Tap, with the Montreal Canadiens. He become UFA in 27-28. Okay. Mm-hmm. He's going 30 years old this year. And with all, this is the kind of player you like to have in your team. He has good heart. He work hard. But again, if you want to go to the next level, you need bigger defensemen at that third pairing defenseman. He is not a second pairing.
At least your top four.
Exactly. So he got used because he had no choice with Dobson, everything like that. But we need to increase the right defenseman on that side. And, a player like physical, and I'm going to make him one name. He's not going to come here. He wants to stay on the west side. Two of them, Parenko, a little bit too old, and Jacob Trouba, a little bit too old. But that's the kind of player I'm talking about, a 6'4", 6'5", physical, and they can grab you 15 minutes, 40 minutes, and then if you need an injury, he can play 17, 18, 19 minutes per game if necessary. We have one of them, unfortunately, he does not have enough skill. It's Aberjekai. That's sad to say that, but that's the type of player you would like to get. Aberjekai can fit that third pairing defenseman, in my opinion, to play 12 minutes per game, 14 minutes per game, to give you a couple of great minutes with the size he has. That's the kind you can get. Imagine a Jekai like him, 6'4". You add another defenseman, 6'4", 6'5". I'm going to give you Logan Stanley, but as a right defenseman, example, not a left defenseman. The size of the players, where he can play that kind of play, physicality, whatever it is. Buffalo, Mr. Tap, with all the 5 defensemen they have, when they came back to the defenseman number 6, they used Luke Shine, too slow, 35, 36 years old. Physical, but he's too late for him. Then they try with Meza 5'10". Difficult there. He can escape with the puck. But when you go to the next level, that's what you need. Look about the defenseman of the Carolina Hurricane. Look at the defenseman of Vegas tomorrow night. This is one Montreal need to figure out. Is it on the inside? I'm not sure. But they have to find a right defenseman with that kind of put.
Well, if you recall, Coach, I mean, that was my biggest beef at trade deadline time. And I know they tried, but I still think it would have been possible to bring in a second or third pairing right-handed defenseman that had size and offered exactly what you're talking about. And I think that would have helped us immensely. And now we're regurgitating the same thing, right? We'll see if they can get the job done now, but I think that, when I expressed some concern over the fact that not much was done at trade deadline time, it was in anticipation of what was going to happen, and unfortunately it did. I wish I was wrong, but they just didn't have the beef on that defensive core.
Yeah. Yes, Dan. Again, I said Logan Stanley. I was just talking about the size of the player. I'm not going to the type of player I want to be. I'm just talking about the size of the players. Randy talked about Zach Whitecloud. This is the kind of player I'm talking about. Exactly like that. Yeah. I said to you, a player play better for Fleur Panthers in the past was Kulikov. Canadian breakaway. He scored downtown Montreal. The Canada take the lead 2-0 on that one. Number 21.
You're getting ready, Coach. You're getting ready for your play-by-play.
I did my play-by-play NBA. You have to remember that.
Yeah.
I do have an offside on this one. I don't think so. I think it's a goal, but number 24. I don't know who he is. But basketball is fun. I like it. Lay up and I like the 3-point. I'm trying to make video right now. 3-point down San Antonio to Centreville.
Boy, they were hot. They were hot from the 3-point line.
Yeah. So, we are most of what we're talking about. And honestly, that's the reason behind everything. I think what they need, we know. And there'll be another great summer for the Montreal Canadiens. The next thing we're going to talk about, guys, will be the NHL draft for the Montreal Canadiens. What's going to be the pick at 28. And go from there.
Sounds good, Coach.
The coach needs to learn the offside. Yeah, the player cannot be in front of the defenseman. About that. So at the line, so I learned this: the yellow, the red, the yellow, and I'll be fine. It's boring, Mr. Tap. I'm watching this. I'm trying to get the play-by-play. They talk about pizza and they talk about cheese, Mr. Tap. They don't talk about the game. Like, pass.
Nobody knows cheese better than you.
It's coming on, Not much to talk about the soccer. The kick is out. Anyway, Mr. Tap, I'm getting sick now. Again.
You're getting sick. There you go. You need to rest and get some.
I need my voice now back again for tonight, Mr. Tap. No black menu. I stay quiet right now. It's not much going on, to be honest with you, on my live at this moment. But what a great night, Mr. Tap. We got together. We have about 40 likes, but we have 4 super chat. M&M and Mr. François Lamarche did it for us tonight. The moderator, Ron, and Mr. Luciano is in the house. Mr. Prediction. We take all the note of Luciano prediction tonight. We take all the note. We know exactly what he's thinking, and we're going to see if he's going to be right again.
I think this time around he's right. I think I will take Vegas to win this.
You go with Vegas.
Yeah.
I will go with Carolina.
6 or 7. Yeah, I say Vegas in 6.
I think Vegas have the most depth players. They have a better goaltender. But Anderson, we have to give credit.
Yeah.
His numbers are amazing.
Yeah, but the thing is, Carolina's going to be facing a lot more shots than they did in the last 2 series for sure. So if Anderson could hold his own, maybe they have a shot. But right now, that's their Achilles heel is Anderson in my eyes.
You're right, Randy. You'll be involved with that. I'll give you also more information, Randy, on that one. One will be ready for that. So stay tuned, Randy. I can't wait because you're going to get our savior. I did not follow too much this year, the NHL draft like I did in the past. So I'm still studying, but not much, my friend. What a great night, Mr. Tap. Always a pleasure to work with you. It's an honor to have you aboard. People love you. And I know you have a difficult life because but you are exhausted. What's going on with your family, everything like that. But we still pray for you and your family, and we wish the best. And you cannot give up. You have to keep up everything day by day.
Always fight, Coach. That's the key.
Have a great night, Mr. Tap. Can we see you next time?
Good night, Coach.
We see if you, Mr. Luciano, you're right about Vegas.
We'll see. Good night, everyone.
Mr. Leonard Tap back in the house tonight with us of the great Monday night show of the Hockey Nation. It was a pleasure to be all of you tonight. This is light show, guys, the Hockey Montreal. We're just here to sharing love, the game. And we have so many people come here every night when we turn the lights on. And you know who you are. And again, how you can helping us is to honestly click on the like, subscribe, become a member of the Hockey Nation show. It's $2 per month, guys. Only $2. It's not a lot. But that helped to pay my medicine. You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Exactly. You have greatness inside of you. You know, all of you have greatness inside of you. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy the month Tuesday. Be back tomorrow. Game number 1, guys, of hockey. Wednesday, game number 1 of the basketball. Don't miss my basketball I play. I'm getting better. And I try to do the Blue Jays, but every time I do the Blue Jays, I jinx them and they lose all the time. So we could take a break for the Blue Jays, but I will be back, of course. Be well, BL. Find a way not only dominate your day, but find the way to dominate your first app or what? Someone said 2026. I'm not sure I'm going to get another injection today, but if it don't work better tomorrow, I'm going to go there. I did pretty good. Canes Camino, a kick, save, but goaltender number 12. Here we go. That's all, my friend. Always a pleasure to see Mark Elliott in the house. Colin, and thanks so much. Good night. Tutsi, RJ Calabro, thanks to be with us. Luciano in our tap, Ron, Mark Ovidio, Nicholas. I hope, Nicholas, you came early. I know you're busy, but always a pleasure to see Mr. Randy Walkman and many others, guys. What a great night we got together. And of course, I'm going to finish with this, guys. Any moment you are on the dark spot, you need help, join the Hockey Nation. Join a call, someone, and your family, your friend. They have hotline around the world. Don't be that person to disappear. You deserve better in your life. Don't give up. Never give up. Your life is precious. The human being you are is precious, and you can make a difference at any moment. Make an impact for the rest of the people. People said, how I can change the world, coach? You don't have to change the world. You only have to change one person at a time. That's it. I'm not going to change the world. But if we can change one person at a time in this channel to make them happier and they have a good time on the time we are together, that's make my job. That's the reason I do that, guys. I love Montreal. I love to win. I'm not trying to be negative and to be like that. Sorry. But we just need to have a good time together. Until then, Luciano, the man of everything. Have a great night, everybody, and booyah.